Well, good evening and welcome to the Go Tave Goulburn Valley Footy Show. Tonight I am with two absolute very, very funny men. I've arrived a little bit late this evening. I had a specialist appointment. And John Ryan, good evening. How are you,
Good evening, David. And,
he's a bit sick.
Viewers, just in case the great man goes down, he's had the hard check. They actually couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But if he does go down on us, we've got the jumper leads here ready.
That's exactly right.
Going again.
I'll start CPR, John.
And I ain't giving mouth to mouth.
Clear.
I can do that.
Well, you've had your special little 5 minutes and...
so anyway, if you're wondering what these are, that's what they're for, just in case our man goes down on us.
Is everything all right, David?
well, I'll survive at this stage, but I'm just going to go... I'm just breaking in. I'm buying a Bible on the way home, I'm telling you.
We've been a bit worried about him.
I'm going to ring the local parish priest and say, listen, mate, I'm sorry. I should never have knocked off those valves at the back of church. But anyway... Let's start talking to what we're here for, and that is to talk about the Go Tave Goulburn Valley Footy League. On the weekend, the completion of the split round that went about this way. Rochester way too good for United by the tune of 116 points. Shepparton too good for Echuca by 21 points, and Mansfield, and I was at that game, an 8-point thriller over to Chura. Tat virtually led all day, and they got away with them just in the latter stages of the game. It was just a few little errors they made, but I think Jamison Daniels would have been, whilst disappointed, and he certainly would have been. Guy, you were there as well. He would have been proud of the boys. They had a genuine dip.
Oh, absolutely. It actually wasn't a bad game of footy either. I mean, John couldn't join us because it's the sort of bloke he is, but we called it, David, and I,
some of us are busy.
Full credit to Jamison because it would have been a bit disheartening. They led all day and they probably should have won, but Jamison and the boys from TAP, keep your head up because they've got a good base there.
Okay then, well let's have a look at the ladder, eh? I'll tell you how the ladder's positioned at this stage. Rochester on top on 52, Benalla on 44, Kyabram and Seymour are on 40 points apiece, and then Euroa on 38 points. The Swans are on 36, then just outside you've got Maroona and Mansfield both on 28, Shepparton on 20, United on 20, Echuca on 14, and the poor old doggies just cannot get off the scoreboard, and they are still yet to have a win this season.
Yeah, Foxy, just before you go on, you got to do the goal kickers first.
That's exactly right.
I'm sorry.
John, no, don't let it happen again. All right.
I'm just trying to get them jump started.
I'll just shut him up from now on. I'm incorporating this one. Now, the goal kickers, Josh Mellington on 71, Justin Madden on 61, Billy Burson on 54, and Stephen Strubant on 49. JR?
Yes, just want to send to a young fellow that played his first game at the weekend, young Jordan Butts. His name was, he's a 15-year-old, played his first game for Shepparton. Shep Bears. He had 17 possessions and kicked 2 goals.
Good effort.
Congratulations, son. You played a wonderful game. And Shepparton, they're up and about. They've got a lot of good kids there, and Shannon, Boyd, Laffey. They've got some really, really good kids there coming out of the thirds.
Now, I know he's in another competition now, but he's always been a great friend of us at the footy show, and seen him do some miraculous things on a football field. And the legend of Paul Newman, John, it just continues on, Guy. On the weekend, Paul kicked his 100th goal for the Tongala Football Club, and that speaks volumes to the man. I don't think they've had a 100-goal kicker in the competition for quite some time, John.
Oh yeah, I think it's 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah,
but and Paulo, he's sort of on one leg, but what a wonderful player isn't he?
Great effort, Paul. And we just saw Matty Forays a minute ago too, John. He's sitting on 86.
86 I think he's kicked 86, Matty. So he's going along lovely too.
Kick a ton too.
Big chance, 2 games to go.
Another ex-footballer.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go and have a cup of coffee. But before I do, I'm going to introduce you to one of our sponsors, and they're the people from Toyota. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a very important event that occurs this weekend, and that, of course, is the Blue Ribbon broadcast game. It'll be on 1FM, but John and Guy are going to talk to a policeman about exactly what's going to happen on
Matty Walker, Foxy.
Matty Walker.
Lovely fellow.
Alrighty, well, here comes Matty with, after the ad, it'll be JR and Guy with Matt.
Benalla and Mansfield Toyota, JL, Ovens and Delatite Ford are all part of the Value Auto Group. Check their website for great deals on new and used cars. Go to valueauto.com.au. It's so easy.
Well, round 16 sees the Blue Ribbon Foundation game between Maroona and the Shepparton Swans. And we're lucky enough tonight to have here from the Victoria Police Force, Matt Walker. G'day, Matt. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Matt, and what your role is with the Victoria Police.
Yeah, so I'm a multicultural liaison at the police station. My main role is to integrate the community with the police. to create better bonds, I guess. And I was down at Lemnos Reserve yesterday with Golden Murray AFL, having a kick with the boys from Sirius College, which was good fun.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Multicultural must keep you pretty busy around the area of Shepparton, does it, Matt? Or
Only in a good way.
Yep.
There's no real issues. Like we
Yep.
don't have any racism sort of things happening, and we had the report racism round between the Swans and Kyabram a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I was down at that, and that's just trying to encourage people to basically stamp it out.
Matt, just with the Blue Ribbon, just tell people what the Blue Ribbon game and what it's all about.
Yeah, so the Blue Ribbon Foundation here in Shepparton supports the Golden Valley Hospital. It's basically it's just set up with a heap of volunteers. You don't have to be in the police force to be a volunteer. And the money we raise goes to that vital trauma equipment that's used every Saturday with the footballers and netballers coming in with their injuries.
So if people want to volunteer to help you people out, they're more than welcome. They just get in contact with you?
Definitely, just contact the Shepparton Police Station and ask to speak to the Blue Ribbon branch.
play footy yourself, Matt? Or have you ever played footy? Or
I haven't played for a long time.
yeah,
I used to play for Rushy back in the day, or back in juniors.
Yep.
And then I ventured out the Dookie a few years ago and had a kick.
Yep.
That's all I did though.
So were you born in the area, a Shep boy, or where were you?
Sort of, I lived in Broadmeadows.
Yep.
Looking back, I think I might have played footy with Dane Swan.
Oh yeah.
I played under 10s at West Meadows, so
Actually, living in Broadmeadows, mate, you would have had a good upbringing for this sort of job, wouldn't you?
definitely, it made it an easy transition.
You were saying before that sometimes you get people on buses and you take multicultural kids and that to Melbourne, is that correct?
Yeah, well, this Saturday I actually won't be at the Blue Ribbon game. I'll be down at the Collingwood-Richmond game. We're taking 30 people from the community down to watch that, and that will tip over the 200 mark for this year that have gone down to watch a footy.
And that's supplied, from these Blue Ribbon days and that, is it?
No, it's got nothing to do with Blue Ribbon, that one,
No.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Gold Murray AFL sponsored the first game.
Okay.
And we got the Victoria Police Transport branch to come up. Other than that, we've had the Global Foundation. They've helped out as well as the Collingwood and Carlton football clubs.
How do you find it when you take multicultural blokes down there that haven't seen AFL footy before? What do they think of it?
Initially, you can see that really don't want to get on that bus.
Yeah.
We stand at the front of the police station. Why am I here? We get down. We talk about the footy on the way down a little bit. They get in there. They're in the atmosphere. They see the culture of the AFL. And by the time we're coming back home, they want to go back. They're saying, next week, can we go down? And they're really loud and vibrant, and they love it.
Matt, tell us about what actually got you into being multicultural within the police force. I mean, probably a lot of people think about Victoria Police and it's locking people up and writing out speeding tickets and all that sort of thing. But I mean, I must admit, I never knew there was an arm multiculturalism within the Victoria Police Force. I never knew it offered that. So you learn something new every week. But what actually got you into that side of in the policing?
Well, I've obviously started the same as everyone else, so I was on the van, and don't get me wrong, that's awesome. The van's awesome. You're going out to arrest people and giving tickets for people doing silly stuff. That's good. It's fun doing that. But later in my career, well, not that I'm been in my career very long, I'm still very junior, but I've sort of seen the community engagement side of things, and that's why I joined the police force initially. Was when I was a young tacker, a copper actually stopped and played footy with me at the front of my house in West Meadows.
Yep.
And it's probably not the side where my family's from normally.
Yep.
And it changed my view on police, and that's why I became a copper. And that's why when this role came up, I was like, yes, please, I'll do that.
Yep.
Sorry, Matt. Your communication, you were just saying there, with the multicultural, how much does it change after you've dealt with them for a while? Say they've been a wild boy and all of a sudden like you just said, been turned around by the help that you blokes give them.
Yeah, so I don't really understand the question.
Yeah, look, I'm just saying, some of the boys that are out there, they might be a little bit wild.
Yeah.
And you blokes get them under your wing and trying to settle them down. Do you find that you'd find that very achieving?
Yeah, it's achievable, and it's been happening through all the partners within the community as well, like your primary care and family care, Berry Street and things like that. And it's probably just trying to find. It's not that they want to be naughty. It's probably more the fact that they don't know what else to do. So just trying to get them different activities to do, and that's what AFL's awesome. And like what I was speaking about with those kids from Sirius College.
Yeah.
But never played AFL before. They didn't want to do the course that they're doing with Gold Murray AFL. Now they want to play football next year.
Yeah. So that's terrific, isn't it?
Well, you've heard it. Matt Walker from the Victoria Police. Thanks for coming in, Matt. I expected Matt to actually have the handcuffs and everything tonight, and we could have put him on JR and taken him home in the back of the van. But anyway, it's not to be.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So I'm stuck with you again, John.
Yes.
And Matt, thanks for coming in, mate, and telling us about that. It's obviously, the foundation is obviously a great cause. It's a great initiative between the Maroona and the Shep Swans, and it's something we hope in the Golden Valley Football League we can continue to have a partnership with Victoria Police.
And it's always been, even the time we were at 1FM, it's always been a broadcast game.
Yep.
And the way they do run it, they have the guards of honours and the minutes silent, they do all that, and they just do it absolutely brilliant. So if you've got nothing to do at the weekend, get down to the Swannies and make sure you throw a few dollars in. As you just heard Matt say, all the money goes to the GV and all the equipment they get there. So make sure you make a donation to these people because they do a marvellous job.
Well, you heard it. Thanks again, Matt, and we'll get back to the show.
Well, there you go. That was a wonderful interview. Congratulations, John. You're a real nice bloke, Matt Walker.
Lovely, yeah, lovely fellow. Young bloke. As he said, he done his apprenticeship in Broady, so he would have done some, Broadmeadows, that's his.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you would have learned pretty well down there.
My old hometown, mate, down there. I can tell you right now.
Yes.
He was a good fella, actually, and local boy, so it was actually handy having him here tonight too, John.
Well, it was very handy having him in the place tonight.
Because I tell you what, the people that come in here tonight, we will get you. We will find you, and look out. Anyway.
Now, Johnny, we've diversified a little bit in the footy show this week. We had the opportunity to meet a great young man, a boy who's played a lot of football, and his name's Jordan Lucas. Now, some of you people mightn't be into MMA boxing, but this boy is a top echelon fighter, I can tell you. He's
Australian
bantamweight champion. He played a lot of football in his youth. Jordan opted to move on. He's got relations in Longwood, where I come from. He's fought up here in the Goulburn Valley, and he's about to depart for America. So without any further ado, we'll have a word from our tax man, and then when we come back, I'll be talking to Jordan here, right on the GV Footy Show.
SDP, Steve DePetter and Associates, prepare taxation returns for individuals, all business structures and major corporations. We provide electronic lodgement. You can even drop off your returns and pick up the next day. To find out more, visit www.stptax.com.
Well, welcome back, and we have got a special treat for you people right across the Golden Valley region today. I'm talking to a man who is an Australian title holder, none other than our own Jordan Lucas. Jordan, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Corbin. Now, look, I've got to tell you, I am naive to this form of boxing completely, but it's well respected now, well heralded, and you're the Australian title holder. You're a very good junior footballer. You walked away from footy to take this up, and how are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I enjoy it. Look, footy was good as a young kid. I love footy with all aspirations to make the AFL one day. But yeah, I started boxing mostly because my uncle was a professional boxer, so yeah, started boxing at about 12, then got onto watching MMA a lot, and yeah, started off with that.
Okay, now MMA. This is an MMA belt in front of me here.
Yep.
What's the MMA?
MMA is a mixture between all sorts of martial arts, so judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing, so all over the place pretty much put together. And yeah, that's fought in a cage.
Now, Jordan, as well as being the Australian title holder, you're also undefeated, correct?
Yep.
How many fights in all?
So I've had 17 fights,
yep,
and 10 of them have been professional, so all up 10-0 professional.
Now, what's the future hold for you? I know that you're going overseas. Tell us where you're going and what your aspirations are when you get overseas.
Yeah, well, as starting this sport, I always had big dreams to get into the big promotions, the pinnacle of the sport. Obviously, UFC, 1FC, Bellator, and yeah, I signed a 6-fight contract with 1FC, so they're the biggest promotion in Asia also. So yeah, pretty exciting.
When you go away on one of these expeditions, how many go with you? Is it just you, your trainer, and a few others? Or?
Yeah, usually it's just they bring one corner allowed, but no doubt my support base will come up, my old man, my family. So yeah, the support's always good.
Now, you've had 17 cracks at it.
Yeah.
You haven't been beaten.
No.
Knockouts?
I've had 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. Oh, actually, no. 3 knockouts.
Yep.
3 knockouts, 4 submissions, and 2 have gone the distance.
Now, give us a quick definitive on a submission as to a knockout.
So a knockout's when someone's pretty much knocked out unconscious and the ref has to pull you off. And a submission is when they actually tap out. So either an arm lock or a choke submission.
Now, during your career, you did have a fight up here in the Golden Valley?
Yeah, my first amateur fight was actually on Matty Reid's KO show. So I think it was KO 16 I fought on against a country boy up here.
And where was that? Where did that take place?
That was at the GV, I think the GV gym there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Did you win? How did that go? Was that a tap out or a
No, that one was actually a draw. It was a bit weird because I thought all my coaches thought I'd won, but the judges called it a draw, so I was a bit upset. But yeah, it is what it is.
That's exactly right. Now I have to tell you that I cannot get over the respect that fighters have for each other at the end of the battle. I know there's a fair bit of dress rehearsal that goes on before a fight, but when it's over, you're fully aware of just how well prepared your opponent is, as he is of you. And no sooner the bell goes and it's all over, all forgotten.
Yeah.
How do you get that angry beforehand? I mean, to say, for example, if I played football, right, and someone gave me a whack in the listener, I want to dance straight away.
Yeah.
But you have to size up your opponent from the other side of the ring. You've got to stand there, look at him. But if you go in with the slightest bit of softness, you're a sitting duck, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I think my advantage is I've always been real competitive. So for me, I don't have to hate the person to fight him. I'm there to compete, no matter who it is. You know, I'm a good sport, no matter what. I've had a few people that talk some smack about me and stuff, but after the fight, you know, it's all said and done, and the respect's always there. You get a few guys that are a bit hard on defeat, but I'm always good.
Now tell me about this belt. Where you won it?
This one, starting off, I had a few amateur Muay Thai fights, and I actually had my first professional Muay Thai fight, and was for this bad boy. I fought a guy with twice my experience, and it was actually probably one of my toughest fights to date, and got the split points victory.
And what about this one here?
And this one was on probably Australia's biggest MMA show. It started off as an 8-man tournament with 8 of Australia's best. I think I was the youngest in that one, and 3 fights later I got it, so it was a pretty good moment for me for sure.
Now we can't go anywhere without fighting without the great support of some of your sponsors. Now I just want to show you, for you people to get a look at the front here. I can't read what it says there, but stay strong, stay true. Is that your motto? What goes on there?
Stay staunch, yeah.
Okay, so that's the Jordan Lucas story.
Yeah, that's it.
And these are the people that support you?
Yeah, so we got Movement, my clothes sponsor, Reversal, Multiplayer Distribution, they're all clothes. Team Nemesis, my gym, all the people that make this happen. I've got Monia Roof Tiling, Luke Triani, MST, Duke Landscapes, GTE, Pan Pizza, and the boys at Belfield Brewery. So,
good on you boys, because without sponsorship, there's absolutely no way you can survive in any form of sport. Normally, you would notice me be just that little bit cheeky every now and then, but today, courage factor nil. But anyway, Jordan, we can only wish you all the best. We hope that you can get that shot at the world title. You're Australian title holder now. Will you get the opportunity to fight for a Commonwealth title? Is that a stepping stone as such, or do you go from Aussie title to the world title?
I think next will be a world title, just got to play my cards right and hopefully get that world title.
Well, don't forget this bloke, and you saw him first on the GV Footy show, and I'm talking about Jordan Lucas. He's the Australian bantamweight title holder in MMA fighting, and he's a ripper bloke. Unfortunately, barracks for Collingwood, but Carlton, but we can put up with that. Jordan, all the best,
Thanks
mate.
for having me.
Okay, well, there you go. That was the conclusion of the interview with Jordan. I have to tell you that a lot of people, we had a few people here when we recorded that interview, a lot of people get the wrong impression of just what a fine young man he is and what a great family he's from, young Jordan. He was humbled by the sponsorship deals he received, but for him, the main sponsor on his challenge for this world event is a fellow called Sam Modica. Now, Sam, I hope I pronounced your name right. He spoke very, very highly of you, mate. He really, really did.
Yeah.
Sam's got a little business called Pascoval Motors, and he's been a great influence on Jordan's career, and he wanted a special tribute done for you, Sam, in appreciation of exactly what you've done for him. And we all know how hard it is to get sponsorship, believe you me, so keep up the good work.
And it's a lot of people might say, why would you be interviewing a fighter? But at the end of the day, the kid has played a lot of footy, and it just shows you how you can go on and do something else in your life. Now, this kid, if he fights a couple more wins, Foxy, he'd be fighting for a world title.
Oh, mate, that's it.
You know, and it's a great event. And as you said, a beautiful young fella.
Well, absolutely, I think it's good. And David, we know our old mate here next door thinks he can handle himself a bit. How did he go against him? Did he go for a couple of minutes? Or?
There was only 3 hits in it. There was only 3 hits in it.
Yep.
Jordan hitting Johnny.
Yep.
Johnny hitting the ground.
Yep.
And the ambulance hitting 100 to pick the old fella up.
Well,
that's about
that's
as good.
Good.
As what
That's good because I was hoping he would have punched the suitcase out of him. So.
Well, it nearly did.
I asked him if he wanted to step out.
Now, Johnny,
You can see it. You can see it, Paul. He's only human.
Johnny, I'm bringing it back today because we've got a big announcement. Yep. It is time for our new award that we've got running every week right through until the end of the season, and it's a Tatura Hotel, or as we like to think it, a nacho with Nola.
Or nacho, or a night out with Bugsy.
Yeah, well, that's right. Now what you do is we're going to ask you a question and you forward it in 1 or 2 areas. You can either send it to Morse Mailbag, your address is?
morsemailbag@gmail.com.
And of course, you know the Tatura Hotel. Have a look at some of these photos of it. It's Bugs has taken it to another level down there, and the people that are in the pub with him. So you'll get a $50 meal voucher, and you'll be able to go down there and have a meal. And it's a great night out, Johnny. I think there's TAB facilities there.
Got everything there.
It's got the whole deal there, and it's a lovely thing. And go and say good day to Billy Brownless, and you can see the Rochester Football Club were very happy to purchase the last 2 cubicles because of John Ryan, and they call them the Johnny Ryan cubicles.
Just on that, boys, for the viewers who don't know who Bugsy is, it's JR's brother, John Ryan.
The looker.
He's a better looker of the Ryans. Get down to the Tat Hotel because that's a fantastic thing what he's doing. $50
For the next 7 weeks.
For a business is a bit out of his pocket each week. It's a great pub, a good meal, so get down and support it. And John Ryan, to your brother, well done.
Now you can either, as I said, you can either go through Morse Mailbag or you can get me on my phone. Just text me the answer to the question and
your phone number.
Yeah, my telephone number is 0418 233 494. That's 0418 233 494.
I wouldn't have given that out.
Or John Ryan's on 0402 91 6697. That's 0402 91 6697. Now every week we're going to have a different question. The question this week, I'll get Johnny to tell you what it is. If we get more than one correct answer, it will go into the barrel, and we will draw it here every week right up
On
until
the
the
footy
grand
show,
final.
and that's why it's important is you can put your phone number in so we can ring you and tell you how to pick up
We
the
can
voucher.
ring. Well, we're not allowed to ring you on the show anymore because we got into trouble for doing that.
Yeah.
But Johnny, the question
The question is for the $50 meal voucher at the Middle Hotel, the Tatura Hotel.
The Tatura Hotel.
Is who ran first and second in the Morrison Medal last year? Who ran first and second?
Gee, could you make it any more difficult or not?
Oh, no.
Cost me a bad haircut.
It cost him a bad haircut.
Yeah, it did too.
So anyway,
there really should be more than one correct answer because
It'll all go into a barrel, and everyone else will go into the barrel.
and if you're on your own and you're a lovely single girl and you want to take someone, my mom. There I am.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. And then take a Labrador with you on the lead so that people explain what you're doing.
And then you can go back on your medication.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about it first up. This is going to be an absolute crackerjack game. Doesn't matter where they are on the ladder, what position they are. They genuinely have a real dip with values that go back from the 50s, 60s, 70s right through until today. And that is when Euroa will play host to Seymour. Promises to be a beauty. Last week, Euroa lost by 45 points to Kyabram, and Seymour were victorious over the Swans by 31 points. Look, both sides are well represented on every line. I think you'd have to agree that Seymour are playing clearly the better football at the moment, and it's a must-win for Seymour so that they can keep that climb on the ladder. And in saying that, Euroa are in exactly the same boat. Both sides have got exactly the same run home. They get Mansfield and Benalla each. So this will be the game that they're looking to win. There's some wonderful players at Seymour, we know that, haven't they turned it around? Grenfell's got himself going, Jason Cole having an absolute super year. So Scanlon, a lot of people were critical of Scanlon when he came back and just continues to nominate a quiet achiever in Harrison Wheeler. Sard starting to get involved in footy again. Tom Bonghetti has been more than handy for them. He's kicked 31 goals for the year. There's two Scobell boys. Both of those boys go really, really well. Winter Irving's, he could be the factor that they're going to be very hard to man off on that young man because he's got those mechanical arms. It should be a great battle up forward. I think Adzi Tarrant will get Sard for sure. Brent Colbert's having, a really steady year and doing a great job with him. A boy called Freeman's a good player. Matty O'Keefe returns and represents stability to the back line. And my man, I'll tell you right now, this boy can really play with a bit of dash and a bit of flair, and he plays at full back, and when he picks the ball up and tucks it under his arm, he's exciting to watch in young Hugh Robinson. Now, if you have a look at Euroa, Brad Cunningham, well, he's been kicking goals week in, week out, and it was a call that John indicated if you put him down there, he'd do some damage, and nothing could be absolutely spot on. Brad Gleeson, they missed him last time in the park. Gilliland's kicked 23. Bamford's form's been exceptional. A lot of blokes again. With Craig Bamford thought he was in the Tato handicap, and good on you, Bamf, because you've come back and you are playing stellar football, and it's a credit to you. Johnny Akupu, he should be in for a great duel in the ruck. Andrew Bell's got himself going again. Jet Trotter, out of all the young people that have made a debut for Euroa seniors this year, he's my pick. Tom Sharp's a good player, we know that. What do we say about Adam Tarrant that hasn't been said before? He's a great player, ably backed up by his first lieutenant in Ben Parker. Paddy Horsburgh got a little bit of a kick in the backside from a few on this show a little while ago, and I reckon Paddy's got himself going and really going. I reckon it's going to be a great game of footy. It's at Memorial Oval in Euroa, and for me, I'm going to go Seymour just.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go across this game, Foxy. I think it's going to be a terrific game of footy, and the blokes you spoke about. The interesting one will be Bonghetti. They tell me his name is now Bonghetti. Bonghetti is his correct name.
It's too big to argue with, I can tell you that.
Correct. And he's going to be the hard bloke for your older man up on. Whether Jordan Taylor goes to him, I think he's probably the only bloke with a bit of height that can go to him, and Wolf's not going to give too much away.
I can tell you now, Adam Tarrant will play on him.
Tarrant will play on him?
For sure. He played on him at Seymour. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, and look, it's a great matchup for him because, you've got other players that can go to Sard. Horsburgh can go to Sard. Ben Barker can go to Sard. So they've got blokes. But he's the catalyst. But I look in the midfield. But as you said, Foxy, their forward line, Euroa, 28, two of them kicked 28, Patton 21, 23 to Gillan, 16 to Bamford. So they've got a good creative forward line. But at the moment, winning form's good form, and I'm just going to go for Seymour.
Got it?
Yeah, you're right.
Alrighty, let's move on to the next game, and it's a beauty. This is the Police Blue Ribbon game, and it'll be broadcast, as I said, on Radio 1FM. The Swans take on Maroona. Johnny, I don't envy you this job on this game, I really don't.
Yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting game, boys. Ryan Thompson, I think he'll be the boy that will go to Justin Madden. Foxy, I've seen him play against Mellington a few weeks ago, and they did it well. Ryan Thompson out the front and Kane Boyer were at that game. He stayed in front. Well, I don't think you'll find Kane Boyer play. I think Kane Boyer's got a broken wrist, boys, so that could be one for out there. Dylan Johnson, so he's going to have a big job down there on Davies. It's going to be one in the midfield. You've got Charles, Squires, Johnson, Fry, Bell and Sidebottom. Really, really good players. But then you go across to Maroona and McDonald, we know he's a star. Dean Smith is one of the most underrated kids in this league. Simon Russell, he'll get a run with role, I reckon, Simon Russell. I reckon he does this as good as anyone in the league, Simon Russell. And he's very, very... Kane Atkinson, Joey Sullivan. I think the big thing is Luke Conker, whether he plays or not. If he's not down in Richmond, he plays with Maroona. He really strengthens him up. Then you go up forward, you've got Burrows, one of your favourites.
I like him.
I think he's a good player down there. Daniel Lewis, Aho, Marks and Vagalis. Aho's 33 and Daniel's kicked 24. But, if you have a look at the Swannies back line, and Campbell, Keys, Reardon and Trent Freer are pretty good. The problem I see with the Swans, boys, if Antonovich is shut down and Madden's shut down, they haven't got another key forward. Now, whether they're going to throw Reardon forward is another story. Do they throw Reardon forward to try and just kick more goals? You have to kick goals to win this game, and I think if Reardon doesn't go forward, I don't reckon they've got enough firepower. I know they're good at home, but I think, boys, Maroona will win this game.
Johnny, can I ask just one question pertinent to the game? With Johnson at centre-half back, I think that's where he'll line up. who would you play on Johnson to lead him up the ground and open that big goal-kicking zone that Harry can respond to?
Yeah, look, if a bloke like Johnson, if you play someone on Johnson, if you've got to have, I reckon you can have someone to lead up the ground goal and then double back, you know, and use him that sort of way. And that's where I reckon a bloke, Davies or Reardon, I reckon could do that job. I really do think they could do that job. And, you know, they've used Campbell, they've used Tommy Campbell for it as well.
Guy? Yeah. McDonald could be the catalyst. Who's going to go to McDonald?
Absolutely could be. Look, well, it'll be interesting to see who can run with him. I'd love to see somebody like a Quade Johnson and play head to head with McDonald, because Quade Johnson is a hard nut, and you know, gets a lot of the footy himself. But yeah, look, it'll be it's going to be an interesting game. This last time it was Maroona by 7 points, and look, I think at the moment, Maroona's form, obviously against Benalla last round, was sensational. And, you know, blokes like Daniel Lewis, who's an absolute out-and-out gun, I just don't know who Swans are going to have to shut blokes like him down. And you know, Shane McDonald going forward, don't take away anything either from a bloke called James Marks. You know, he 2 or 3 years ago was kicking 7, 8 goals.
71 goals he kicked
in a game. So, you know, I just think for me, and you're right, Johnny, Ryan Thompson he'll have a big job to do, and I think Maroona will get the job done.
I think Brody Charles will go to McDonald. Foxy.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up Jimmy Marks. I reckon James Marks is the sort of bloke. I know they've got McDonald, I know they've got a few others everywhere. If James Marks comes to play, as we've seen him play, he could be the difference, John. I reckon these two sides are that evenly matched. I reckon Marks, if he can turn it on for 10 minutes, he could tear a side to pieces.
I'd love to see Blake play James Marks back up forward a little bit more. Deeper forward. He was damaging that year he kicked 71, John. Myself was still playing that year. And so I got to see him firsthand, and he was dangerous from deep forward. His turn of foot and his first 3 or 4 steps are damaging. So anyway, something to think about.
This is Maluka's last chance as well. Yep. They've got to win this to get in the final.
Yep.
Okay, now who are you going for, John?
I'm going Maroona.
Guy?
Maroona. Yep.
Yeah, well, I think the Swans will put pay to Maroona this weekend and end their finals campaign. But that's just me, and I think I've been wrong once or twice through the whole year. Guy, talk to me about Benalla and Mansfield. Benalla, look, I were, from all reports, extremely lucky to beat Maroona by 6 points last game. So, and Mansfield, look, we were at this game last week and we're probably, I reckon, a little bit lucky to beat Tatura by 8 points. But anyway, take nothing away, a win's a win. So, Josh Marchbank, best on ground, parallel against Maroona. I'd love to see if Jones is back this week. I don't know. We didn't get a chance to speak to him last week, but he's been injured. I'd love to see if he can play, because that would be a fantastic duel, Marchbank and Jones. Will Martinello, obviously an absolute superstar. Luke Morgan, again, their midfield for Benalla John's going to be what wins this game. Jordan Wolfe been playing sensational. Josh Mallington, you mentioned a minute ago, 71 goals, and I really think he could probably get to the 100 this year. Nick Warnock kicked 27 goals. Probably a little bit down, Nick Warnock, the last few weeks, but he's obviously a sensational player. Lockie Smith. I reckon Lockie Smith is going to have the job on Burberry. Kicked 7 last week, Johnny Burberry, and he is dangerous. He just knows how to read the footy, and so he should be. He's been at AFL standard. Boy, I want to make mention too for Mansfield last week in the ruck was Big Richmond, and I know Foxy, we called it a couple times. He was good, Richmond. He gave him first use a few times and was really good as well. Jamie Sheen to me looked like he was injured for Mansfield.
Been injured all year.
Last week, yeah. He's just not playing freely like he should be, and Ben Fagan, a sensational player for Mansfield, and was good. Hansby was great for Mansfield last week, and so was the Hind boys. I reckon one of the Hind boys will probably get the job on Mallington this week, because I don't know who else is going to be able to shut him down. Charlie Morrison, a young fella, kicked 2 for Benalla last week, and I want to mention him. And also Mitch Exton. They've blooded a couple young boys, John, this year, and Mitch has kicked 17 goals. And other than Mallington and Warnock, Mitch Exton's their next biggest goal kicker. So, yeah, look, I mean, I know Mansfield, they need to get blokes like Jones, Bashevsky and Gavalis to come back in if they're going to be any chance. But I can tell you honestly, I don't think they'll get near it. And Benalla for me.
Johnny?
I think the bye come at a very, very good time for Benalla. I reckon they were leg weary, they were tired, they played on a couple of heavy game rounds. And I think Luke's just got them going along quite nicely at the moment. Look, They're no red hot certainties. I think it's out of 4 for the whole year, for the rest of the year. There's 4 sides. Any one of them can win the premiership, but this is one of them, and I think they'll tail Mansfield.
Can I just pay tribute to one big fella, and I know that I've said it before, he's undoubtedly, I think he's the best tap ruckman in the competition, but to Big Joshy, I've got to tell you, mate, I was really happy to see the way you were out and about last time. Some of your marking around the ground, mate, was exactly what they've been looking for, and you did it from the start of the game to the end of the game. And I hope that you learn a lot in the confidence department for the way you went last week, and you continue it on, because it's the best game I've seen you play.
Yeah, it was.
And coming into September, if you can maintain that and keep it up, geez, you're going to pose problems, mate, and I really do mean it.
Well done. I think he's got to the level now where we expected him to be at the start of the year.
He's only a baby, too. I think we've been probably a little bit
but
good on you, Josh.
Is Curtis his uncle?
No.
I reckon it is. I reckon it's his uncle.
Mick Curtis? Yep. No, he'd never own up to that.
Well, anyway, Josh, can you tell your Uncle Mick to take David's phone call?
That's
Mick,
good.
can you please answer your phone? Because David's been trying to ring you for a week. Okay. Any more needs to be said there?
No, but I'm really wrapped for you, Josh, because I know with bigger blokes it does take a little bit of time, and you're going along beautifully. Okay, the next game up is United and Shepparton, and don't these two sides, will there be some hard hitting, bumping and romper stomping on this particular event?
Yeah.
Both sides are playing for pride, and I mean pride, and both clubs are particularly proud clubs. We know they've appointed new coaches for next year, and we know that Tim Luby and Brendan Van der Donk are great mates that want to go out in style, and I mean great mates. I understand Timmy's going to get married at the end of the year, and he's got the donk there. Johnny, can you believe that?
Yeah.
I understand that the line went through Ryan and Van der Donk went in, and Fox was never even considered.
Is it any truth in the rumour that you and me are the wedding singers?
I didn't want to say it. We got the older boy here lined
the older boy, he'll bring the ring up for you.
Yeah, but she's allowed. I don't know when they're getting married, but the rumour has it that they get married. But anyway.
But if you want us to come over, Timmy, and have a practice run with the singing, we'll do that.
Timmy and Brendan are going to want to go out working together as closely as they possibly can and do the best by United, and they certainly shall. They've got some great players up there. I happened to notice a very interesting photo of a young Sean Hoy in a hot tub, but he wasn't with the Sheila either, Shawnee. But I'm not going to post it, mate, so relaxed. Don't even consider yourself and put your hand on the table, guy. That's better. Now, Matty Rendina, what a year you've had, Matt, and I hope you can finish off the year. A lot of people think that Neves would probably win your best and fairest at the club. But for me, I haven't seen you play a bad game all year, and I've probably seen you 4 or 5 times, John, I reckon.
Yes, we have.
Good player.
Of course. Matty DeBella's a great player. Paul Curry underestimated. McEnany back into the side adds a bit. And Neves in his own right's a good player. Ryan Butler's a good, steady player. Just
he's had a good year,
Captain Courageous. Yeah. Just does it a heap of times. Now, the last time they played, United beat Shep by 35 points. Now, Shepparton have definitely improved out of sight. I don't know what their plans are.
Four straight.
Yeah, I don't know what their plans are in recruiting, but they don't appear to be that far away. But the boy you mentioned, young Butts, getting a senior game. They've got other boys from the thirds in Laffey, Shannon Boyd and Liam DeGold. Is it Liam? I hope I pronounced that right, but if I haven't, I apologise. But then your old campaigners, Big Ash Holland's been great in the ruck. Mitch Brett, Nick Allen, what a champion. Rupert Sansaron, who's got Reece O'Sullivan's a gun, and the boy Walsh. They're all good players. This promises to be an absolute beauty. And as I said, the two clubs, there's no love lost between them. I think it'll be a hard game. I think there'll be a lot of physicality in it. But I think, because of what's been said about coaching replacements and one thing and another, I reckon United are going to get him in a beauty, Johnny.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be a terrific game, and there's no love lost, as we know. It was 116 points from United last week, so they've got a big turnaround. But they played against a top side, and they are top side, Rochester. Shepparton last week, I went and had a look at them last week, and gee, I walked into the rooms before the game, boys, and it was just like going and looking at the third side. There's that many young kids in that side. It is unbelievable. There's a kid there by the name of Mitchell Brett. Gee, he impressed me, number 10. He just gets his hands on the ball and he finds his own footy. And he really impressed me at the weekend, just the way he went about it. Rupert Sangster was another one I thought was terrific. Just in and under. And as you mentioned, Foxy, all those thirds kids playing that side, they've got a huge future, Shepparton. If they can keep what they got, put 4 or 5 around them, don't worry, they're top 4 side next year. Make no mistake about that. Brad's doing a terrific job there.
Yeah, good on you, Brad.
And I think Shep will get them.
Okay.
Foxy, I want to ask you something. Shane Neves, and this is a serious question. You've played a little bit of ruck in your time, and I know you've helped out with coaching ruck at Euroa in the past. Shane Neves is, from what I've seen, is sensational ruckman, but probably a little bit of his criticism probably lacks grabbing the footy around the ground a little bit. What advice can you give to ruckman? Because we've got a young kid at Euroa who's coming up through at the moment through the ranks, and I reckon he's going to be a sensational ruckman. What makes a rounded ruckman to you?
Well, in Shane's case, first off, let me tell you, he's a better player than I was. But I'll tell you, you've got to be able to be a good ruckman. It's your second and third skills that have got to come to the game. If you're blessed and born 6'8", 6'9", you can tap the ball a bit. But the greatest ruckmen of all time take a lot of chest marks because they read the game better than anybody. They become a positive lead in a point situation. That's something that's the easiest skill to develop, but your fullback's got to have faith in you. But that's the era that I played in, right? So it's all changed so much because they go short. But you can never, as an on-ball ruckman, afford to take your eye off the ball. And if you do, that's when you're going to get caught out wrong-footed. If you're at centre-half back, centre-half forward on that side of the ground, and it changes and they kick to the other side of the ground, and you look up for the next option, and they've doubled back on you, it doesn't just make you look slow, it makes you look big and dumb and awkward. You just don't take your eyes off the ball.
I think
that'll be the same for every footballer, particularly on ballers.
But I think what you're saying also, if you go back a few years at their prime, Sammy Brennan and Paul Kirby, I reckon they were as good as two ruckmen has played in this league, just with their work around the ground.
Paul Kirby still is, from what I saw on the weekend.
Oh, he's fantastic.
But what I'm saying, look, a big ruckman in the centre, it's not all about that there. It's still a 50-50 contest when it comes down here. It's what they do around the ground, the marks they've taken, and like
the big boy from Seymour, John, he's as good as I've ever seen because he could read. I mean, he won a Morrison medal and
Shepparton. Those sort of blokes in there.
He could just Shane Shepparton.
They did so much around the ground.
Fantastic player. And if you're a young bloke, and that's why I was rapt to see young Joshy Marchbank do it, and Ash Holland, a few years ago. But if you study, I don't know what book of ethics he's worked on, but Mitch Bell and the young kid at Seymour, they are going to be. Oh mate, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be top echelon ruckman. But it's the same for anyone that's played footy. Never take your eyes off where the next contest is going to be.
There's a bloke at United must give a mention to, but Bo Kai. He's had a fantastic year and he doesn't get many mentions, this bloke. So,
well, I've got to tell you the absolute truth. I wasn't too sure on how to pronounce your surname, Bo, and I apologise for that because I've regularly seen you in the better players.
Oh, he's been in the best a lot.
But I'm going to go myself. I said who I was going to go for, I reckon. Thing. Anyway, moving right along.
Thing.
United.
Which thing?
United.
Oh, right. Who are you going for, Guy? You didn't ask you.
Yeah, I know.
I apologise.
Thanks, Poppy.
Yeah, don't worry.
I think United too.
Okay. JR?
Yes.
What have we got for...
Chuka-Rochi.
I was daydreaming there. Well, seen Chuka first hand last week. Oh, a little bit disappointing. I think they've got a few injuries, but, they're main. Buckley, Pollock and Beattie. They're their three main players. Buckley last week was very, very good. Pollock, when we know he's a workhorse, and Scotty Beattie, he's obviously playing injured, but he's just got a ton of guts, and I thought those three last week were really good from him. Along with Bart Phillips, people got a bit of a shock when I had him in my top 50, I think. When I had him number 50, I thought he was very good. I had a good look at him. Liam Wilton, Kane Morrison was okay in the ruck. I thought Ash Holland got the better of him, though, Foxy, all the same.
Okay.
And Ben Reid, I reckon he was playing with an injury last week too. He just didn't look the same sort of player.
Johnny's a bit light on, Ben? Too light on?
No. I've seen blokes lighter than him. I think if he's out in the half-forward flank, he's got good leg speed. So if you've got good wheels, let's use them.
I've seen him tear sides to pieces.
Oh yeah, and I think in a good side, he'd probably do that to you because you get the ball on the outside to him.
And get the good use to him.
And then he'd really hurt you. But while I'm talking about that, I just want to send a special cheer out to all the thirds boys. They watch our show every week.
Chuka boys.
The Chuka boys come up and watch the show every week, and they sit down, I think, in the club rooms and even watch the show. So
good on you, fellas.
A couple of the boys.
And you can say it out loud if you want to. Brett Stevens has got a rough head. Don't worry about that whatsoever.
It'd be good, just on that, Johnny, sorry to break your train of thought, it'd be good to try and get a couple of those boys in with Mario one weekend. I know it's a fair way to come, but why not?
Brett came down all the way out another time for us.
It'd be good to get a bit of exposure for him.
We went up there and we interviewed.
Are you blokes right or what?
Yeah.
Keep going. Now you know what it's like.
It's really good to have a talk with you.
Yeah,
How's your working day?
Yeah.
Dave?
Good.
You want those jumper leads?
Yeah.
Now let's go to the favourites, and they are the favourites at this stage.
Come on, hurry up.
Let's make no mistakes.
Hang on a minute. We've jumped up the have we?
I've said all along they're favourites.
Lukey. Lukey, number 22. You heard him.
No, Lukey told me to do this. He wants to just build them up a little bit.
Bandwagon Ryan, that's what we're going to call him.
Look, the back line.
Underpants.
What about James Flarry?
Good player.
No one talks about this guy much. He is, after him, look, he's a sensational bloke. But if you watch him play, he's the closest thing to Mick Gayfer I've ever seen. He just shuts everybody down. But when the crunch comes and someone's cutting to pieces, he puts his hand up first. I'll take it. Nick O'Connor's been good. Nathan Maroona has been very, very good for him also. And Nick Knight off the half-back flank is starring. There's no doubt. The midfield, Sammy Brennan, what about Sammy? Look, he's taken on Shane Neves, I suppose. Shane played last week. Sammy was best on the ground. He's a gun, Sammy Brennan. He's a fantastic player. Daniel Anderson's had a terrific year. Ash Watson, he'd be in the top three. I've got four blokes running for the Morrison medal, and he's one of them.
He'll win it.
Dylan Williams has been terrific. Brody Green has been really good.
Hey, hasn't he had a good year, Dylan Williams?
Oh, Dylan Williams has been terrific. Jacob Perry, now he's come back from Rushworth, boy. He's hit 9 goals. He's had a really good year. Dylan Cuttress with 32, Strubant with 49, and Elliot Barn with 23. Just too many guns, Rochi to win.
Okay, and I'm with you, Johnny.
56 points last time, David.
How many
56.
points this week, Johnny?
I'd never give points in.
No, okay.
Don't downgrade us.
Well, how come you can say every now and then, I think it's going to be a draw?
Yeah, well, but that's not giving points in.
And he's white Benalla. Benalla were favourites, and they deserve to be, Foxy. I'm telling you. But now Rochi are. We're not full bad, are we? Okay.
I'm with both of you boys, Rochi, and I'm glad to hear you're getting Maroney right now, Johnny.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the Doggies and the Bombers.
I do. I've got about 30 seconds to do it.
No,
Thanks, hey.
go on.
Good on you, John.
Yeah.
Look, Kai, great win over Euroa last game by 45 points. And, look, Kai, I tell you now, boys, Kai, on paper, have an absolute sensational list. And, I watched Kai firsthand 2 weeks ago.
Second favourite.
What it will... look at him. What it will be for Kai is if they can get everybody playing on the same... in the same direction on the same day, they could be a damaging side.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Look at him.
Oh, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
We are with you.
Well, thanks for breaking my thought again, John Ryan. And
I agree with you, mate. That does it to me all the time.
You're going to have a busy night tonight, hey, cutting this show. Justin Sherman was sensational, the coach. 5 goals, played a real coach's game against Euroa. Jason Morgan was good to see them throw Jason up forward. It really threw a spanner in the works, kick 3. Billy Burston got on top of early, but then Kai, I'll tell you what Kai did well last game. They were coached smart. When Burston when Tarrant got on top of him early, they threw him up to a wing. It threw the structures out, and he kicked 3 goals. They were very well coached, Kai, last game. Liam Ogden, sensational player. Nicky Colstock and Morris. Edwards did a fantastic job. He's a bit of a shutdown player, Edwards. Yeah. And Sam Sheldon, probably a little bit quiet last game, I personally thought, but good player as well. Tom Sheldon, and so was Axel Childs. Over to Tatura. Jamison Daniels' game last week was fantastic. He played a coach's game and probably nearly steered into a victory, and unfortunately just couldn't get there. The Ryan boys, I don't know who's gonna play on Morgan, but I think it's gonna have to be one of these boys. Kirby in the ruck, fantastic last week. Curbs, you're a warhorse and a player who's probably a few of these blokes wrote you off early in the year, but I didn't, Paul. So anyway, I know Foxy did. He wrote him off early, but. Anyway, he's
just have a look at episode 1,
sensational player.
To win the medal.
Sensational player, Paul. Lee Warnett, whether he'll get the job on Ogden or not. Jaden Thuma, really good player. Blake I really rate highly, John, is Sean Martin out there for tack. Geez, he's a good player, number 28. He's flexible. You can play him all over the ground. Timmy Lanyon been good since he's come back from holidays. They really need Ryan McGough back in the side. Billy Lovell, again, another good player. Just make a mention too, John and David, was Matty Cornwell. Not blessed with skill and talent, but he got an absolute power of the footy in that last quarter last week.
22, I think.
22, yep. Cornwell, left footer, and
he's not far away from being a very, very handy player.
Yeah, no, he needs to work on his kick a bit, but one thing he can do is find the footy, John. So, look, if Kai can put it all together, I reckon they're a very good side, and for me, they'll beat Tap this week.
I think there's one player in Kai's side that doesn't get enough credit for what he does, and that's Axel Giles. I think, I know you just mentioned him before.
Yep.
He, for every week you see him, he gets a shutdown job.
Yep.
He does it, but no one recognises the work he does, and I think he does it. The last game I went to, he played on, what game was that, David, we went to? I forget who he followed. It'll come to me in a minute, but this is the game he plays. He does it so well.
Yep.
And I think he needs a bit of recognition for it.
Now, I will tell you this because Kenny Sheldon rings me up all the time and says, Foxy, can you give me a few pointers for week in, week out? And who should coach Carlton? Foxy, that's what he says.
Yes, I know.
And I say, Kenny, look, sit down, mate. Anyway,
where were you going?
I was going to tell you this. That one player, no. There's one player that we don't talk enough about when we talk about great players and this, that, and the other. And don't be surprised if he comes out and wins the Morrison. And that's the big fella Morgan.
Oh, Jason Morgan.
Yeah.
He's a star.
Absolute gun.
What are
you talking about? People aren't talking about.
You don't. But you've mentioned 3 different premiers. You've mentioned 8 different Morrison medalists, and he has never been in the occasion.
No, he's in my top 4.
Oh no!
Do you want me top 4?
No, I don't want your top 4.
I'll give you my top 4.
I told you your top 4.
Ash Watson.
Oh yeah, good.
Will Martinello.
Yeah.
Don't give it away yet. You got the top 50 coming.
No, but he's going to put him in
this is the middle. Yeah, what did I say? Will Martinello, Ash Watson, Jason Morgan, and
there's 5.
Shane McDonald. There's the top 4. That's my top 4.
You don't reckon Paul Scanlon will get a few votes?
He'll get a few.
Well, you've been
Not as many as him.
You've been a bit harsh, Dave, because hang on a minute. I rate Jason Morgan.
No, you've often said he's one of the best rovers in the competition. He plays at 2.5 back.
Jason Morgan can play anywhere over the ground, and he is one of the best players in the Golden Valley.
Absolutely.
And Jason Cole will get a lot of votes this year.
So there you go.
Oh, there you go. There's another one he's thrown.
6.
Now look, don't forget to have a crack at that night out at the Tatura pub. It should be an absolute ripper night. To Lucas Jordan and his family, we wish you all the best, mate, on your challenge, and wouldn't it be great to bring him back here with a world title?
Oh, well, if he gets into that, I think they should.
He's undefeated.
I think they should take us over because
I wouldn't be surprised.
We put him out there.
I wouldn't be surprised when the Lamborghini pulls up out the front. There's room for one. The redhead will be in it.
I'd like to put him in the ring with JR and see how he goes.
Come on. All right, then. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, and I'll tell you right now, do not miss next week's GB Footy Show. Until then, this is David Fox saying bye-bye for now with
Adios, Guy Morford
and John Ryan.
Ciao.